What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blank Space Pod. We'll probably end up renaming it later on. This is our first installment of our weekly sports show. I'm your host today, Joey, joined by the one and only Tay
Hey, what's good? What's good?
and Dre Rubino. How we doing, fellas?
How we doing?
Doing good, doing
Good, good,
good.
good.
Enjoying the days off. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, we got a nice little show for you guys today. And to get it started, we're going to recap the game that was Super Bowl licks, is what I like to call it. Because they got their lick back. Did you guys
DP.
get a chance to watch this game?
All of it. It hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a great
Lo-
game. Surprising, but it's a good game.
Lost a
Was
little
it
bit of
was it a
money.
good game, or was it a good game because you may have wanted to see the Chiefs lose?
I went in I thought Casey was gonna win, but I wanted Philly to ultimately win as a whole. Just it's always good to root for the underdogs, and but I thought it was a good game in the fact that I was just surprised by everything that unfolded. I did not, think that Patrick Mahomes would go out there and just get stomped on from Philly's defense. Like we all know Philly's defense was great, but to that caliber was crazy. So just the things like that unfolded. I know we'll get to that, but that's what really surprised me and made it a good game on my end.
What about you, Dre?
Yeah, I was in shock. I was in awe. I mean, like, because the way I looked at it, like Philly and Casey both almost same type of team going through the regular season on both sides. Like, obviously, when you look at their record by the end of the year, they were both dominant. They were both good, but they didn't play dominant. They weren't mollywhopping people throughout the year. Like nothing crazy. They had some of their they had spots. They had really bright spots, and then they had some spots where you're like, weaknesses. And so I honestly thought it was a coin flip. I thought it was going to maybe be another shootout, just like 2 years ago. Didn't really think that would happen. Defense does trump offense sometimes, and especially when that offense isn't, like I said, completely dominant. So it made sense in a way. It reminded me of the Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl. Like they were just
Yeah,
out there, just they couldn't do anything, and every flag, every turnover went the Eagles' way. So I mean,
which doesn't
that's how it
happen like
goes.
that usually with Casey.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, that's true. That was the narrative going in. So yeah, maybe maybe the league had to step in and do something about it. Who knows?
Yep, yep, yep. I think it was just a slacking from what was it? Maybe like 5 minutes left in the first quarter and on. And I think it'll be remembered as like 40-6, not the final score of what was it, 40-22 or something, I believe. They scored some garbage time touchdowns, but
Yeah.
it was um it was interesting to watch and kind of sad. I felt kind of bad for going into our next topic. Travis Kelsey. I felt kind of bad watching him out there. He looked like slow, and after the game, there was videos coming out of him trying to start some stuff with like some Philly defensive players and all that, and he just looked a little old and stiff and a little slow, and I don't know if it felt a little weird, or it felt kind of good to be honest, because I didn't want the Chiefs to win. If I'm being completely honest, I didn't want the three-peat to happen. Call me a hater, I'll own it. I'm just that. But yeah, I thought Kelsey looked a little slow, a little old, and a little scared out there. I think he was getting hit. Cheap shots, sure. Call it what it is. It's the Super Bowl. That's how you win in the Super Bowl. You got to be more physical, So
So I'm gonna step in here because that's my boy, Mr. Travis. I
Let
I
him know.
no, but I'm gonna step in, and then I'm also gonna side with Joey. I don't know how and why it happens for professional athletes. I don't know if they just start to not care. You can't go from like 32 to 35, no crazy injury in between, and you just get so his game is yak, right? For a big old tight end, his game is the yards after the catch. He makes moves. He's shifty. He's decently fast. Like he had none of that this year. None of it. if you've lost what you are good at, like I said, if you can't alter your game, I've said that before about him. If he can't alter his game, if he can't just become more touchdown dependent, maybe give him 10 plus TDs and just become like a very, like a special player and not like a 3 down tight end, wasting his energy, so forth. Like, then I think he keeps playing another 2-3 years as long as they have a window of making championships. Especially after losing this one, they're going to want to try and get back after the next year or two and see if they can't win one more. That's my opinion on if he's retiring or not. I think that's your question. What's next? But yeah, man, he's got to change his game because I also don't get the fall off. Can somebody answer that question for me? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just wear and tear. It kind of does make sense. He's a human, got into a pretty public relationship. You start putting on some pounds, gets comfortable.
He looked skinnier this year. He didn't look as athletic and buff and
He
brawn.
looked he looked bigger. He
No.
looked fluffy.
Ah,
Brother. Kelsey was
okay.
moving like I would I would say Gronk, but Gronk towards the end was even still moving. In that Super Bowl against Kansas City, Gronk was moving like 2011 Gronk. But
Let me throw some
what say you,
stats.
Tay? What's next for Travis Kelsey?
I think I would say so. He's 35 right now. So he's definitely starting to show his age as we've seen this year. You know, like Dre was saying. But I think as a Super Bowl champion in the past, like you kind of get addicted to chasing that, right? Like, and that's what really makes the greats the greats is they'll do anything to get back to that and ultimately take home a championship and a ring again. So I think this will really not just for Kelsey, but Patrick Mahomes as well as it's kind of gonna reignite that fire. They were at a point where they thought no one could touch them. They were the best. They were the most creative offense. Travis can get any touchdown, run it, a lot of yak within the game. So I think this really humbles them. And I don't think it's the end for him. I don't think he should retire. I think he should at least go for 1 or 2 more seasons, sees how it will go for him, and go for there. But I want to say one stat real quick. So going back to Kelsey, he caught 4 of 6 targets for 39 yards. So he only dropped or didn't get to those targets, but only 39 yards. Like one of those, like that man should be getting 10 plus balls regardless a game, 10 plus balls, like at his caliber. So I feel like he wasn't given the amount of opportunities to catch those balls. However, um, you know, let's talk about Xavier Worthy. He had 8 balls for 157 yards and 2 tutties. So that's where he kind of grabbed majority of the yards off of Patrick Mahomes' 257 total yards that he had. So there wasn't much, I feel like, opportunity for Kelsey within this game. And I feel like that's going to eat him up. That's going to eat him up next year. And I'm curious to see if they're going to work on getting him the ball more into big moments like this. Also, one thing too is Philly possessed them 36 minutes to Casey's 23. So let's just say Philly just played a hell of a game, man, like on the defensive side as well. So go back to the question. I don't think Kelsey's going to retire. I think they need to work him into the offense a little more, especially in big time moments. And they need to get back to possessing the ball a lot more. So that's my little input on that.
No, and to touch on what you were saying, Tay, Tay, I mean, just touching on what you were saying, like, I want to know, like, was he maybe nursing an injury?
Mm-hmm.
What, were they saving him for the playoffs? But
Yeah.
then, like, I don't think he went off in the playoffs. I don't think he got a bunch
Oh,
of targets in the playoffs. Or were they simply trying to, like, he is getting old. He could be retiring soon, but maybe it's not this season, but soon. Are they just trying to work in other pieces of their offense? Are they trying to see what Xavier Worthy is?
yeah.
Um,
But Super
it,
Bowl 6 targets, like, that's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you're down. I could get that in the beginning, but if you're down, like, no, we need to feed this guy the rock. You know what I mean?
Might have just been getting blanketed.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's exactly
That
what
is
was
true.
happening. The Eagles took a page out of the '07 Giants book with only rushing 4, not blitzing at all.
Yeah,
That's how the Giants beat the Patriots. They got after Tom Brady early, made him uncomfortable, and the rest is obviously history. And but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But
and
it
that's
was,
smart because they could. Casey can't run the ball.
yeah.
I
They
mean,
can't
yeah,
run the ball.
they don't have a
So
playmaker back there. And I mean, to be fair though, like I don't like the scrutiny on KC's offensive line. Yeah, they looked bad during the Super Bowl. They
No,
were
that's a testament of how good the Eagles are.
right. Okay, that's
100%.
Yeah,
fair.
The
I'm
That's
defense.
on the
fair.
same page as you, brother. I don't want it. I heard the same
Because
baloney all
KC's
year.
offensive line was top 5, if not the best, all
Yeah.
year or the year before. Like
Yeah.
Creed
No,
Humphrey and Trey Smith. Like, yeah, no,
listen,
Didn't
stop.
this
look
is
like it.
Huh?
to everybody out there that's saying that it's like the Chiefs offensive line was obviously good enough for them to only lose 2 games in the regular season. You know what I mean? Like, and
But like,
granted, there was the defense helped out, and it
And
just
I,
I
I
don't like
Joe,
that excuse.
Joe, let me.
I'm with you.
No, okay, and then
Sorry.
I was just gonna say on Philly's side of it though, like it is very confusing to me the dominance though. It truly is. Like I get it, the defense aspect. If they were the best defense in the league, whether it was total points or just overall, I didn't pull that up unfortunately, but I did hear that, and so I'll go off that. They were the best defense in the league. Defense can win championships. Good on them. I don't. I didn't see it all season though. I remember at one point I was talking to you. We were talking fantasy football in week 12, week 13, and I was like, man, the Eagles are like 9-6, aren't they? And you're like, no, they're like 12-2. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no way. I said, I
Yeah.
swear they've lost a few games, like a good few,
Mm-hmm.
and they just didn't look good to me. Like, so how do
I
you
think
dominate in the biggest stage?
it was after it was I want to say it was after like week 6 or something like that. It was when they really started to get Dejan onto the field more honestly, and then they
Cool.
started to Coop, yeah, and just they started to kind of play together, and they started to just gel. I don't know. It's they just got hot, and that defense is ridiculous, and they can only. I don't know what's next for them as far as offseason plans, but if they can still kind of
Keep a
keep building
majority.
off of it, they might be good.
And they were a little bit injured too on the defensive side throughout the season, and I felt like they fully got healthy towards the end, or at least semi healthy. So that could also play a game. And then going back to KC's record, like let's not forget a lot of those games could have swing the other way. Like there was a lot of last minute wins on KC's side that showed they were a little shaky. So yeah, like Joe said, testament to Philly's defense, and I think Casey got a little more glorified throughout the regular season than they actually were. So, and that got exposed in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Yep. Moving right along to the same game, different topic.
Let's do it.
Is the GOAT debate over? Patrick Mahomes has now lost 2 Super Bowls in blowout fashion, one of them being to the current GOAT in many eyes, Tom Brady. What say you guys? Is the GOAT debate over, or at least can we pump the brakes on it for now?
Let's go first,
Who
Mr. Casey.
No, it's not over. It throws a fat wrench in it because again, what he needed this so that he could have that three-peat, that he could have that over Tom, which he now doesn't. If they go back one of the next 2 years, if not the next 2 years somehow, and win one, like he's still right on par, right on track. The issue is had he won 4 in his first like 7 years and then played another 10 and gets to another 3 or 4 or 5 and wins 2 or 3 and gets, matches Tom or is right there with that three-peat, you know what I mean? He doesn't even have to match him per se, but the three-peat plus 6 total and all of his other stats, like his dominance over a shortened time period, could play a factor. Now he has to literally get to 7 and or more, whether he plays for another 10 years or another 15. And if that's his goal, is to be the absolute best, if that's where it ends up being for him 5 years down the line from now, we'll see. But it's definitely not over. The GOAT debate is definitely not over.
Yeah, kind of piggyback off of Dre Day. I don't think it's over. Kind of going back to what I said earlier, I think this is actually going to light a flame under Patty Mahomes. You can see super competitive guy. However, I think it's dependent on what Casey does in the offseason and in the future. They need to get him some more pieces. Like, I think they were just so dependent on Kelsey or even drafting Xavier Worthy. Like, you got to have more than that. Give the guy, some more pieces, to play off of, and I think he'll be okay. I don't think the debate's over, but yeah, I definitely do think it halted it a little bit, and it showed that the guy's human. So it'll be interesting to see, the next few years and what he does and what Casey gives him, in terms of playmakers. And us save my bold prediction for off season, but it's gonna kind of wrap around back to Casey and what they should give him. So that's my 2 cents. Can't hear you, brother.
I think it's just hard to argue when how do I put this nicely? You lose to Brady in a Super Bowl. Okay, and then Brady comes back 28-3. This was supposed to be his 28-3 Super Bowl. He'll never get one of those again. Never, in my opinion. Once Kelsey gets out of there, which he should, they're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna kick the cap. They're gonna kick the can down the road with this cap and everything. Restructure his deal. Try to bring people in to build around him and stuff. But it's they're gonna go through the same things that the Patriots went through. They had like the little five-year window and stuff, and now it's gonna start to get tougher. It's the building's gonna start where they're gonna have to start figuring out who's gonna be able to replace Chris Jones, and then Kelsey. Will Pacheco be able to be the same running back as he was before the pre-injury?
Got to
Like
get
there's a
him
lot of
out.
questions. There's a lot of questions they have. Like the older receivers out there, Juju, DeAndre. They drafted Xavier Worthy. What does Rashee Rice look like next year? There is a lot of questions that I have for the Kansas City Chiefs, and if they're even going to be able to get back to the Super Bowl. Like the thing that sucks is that it takes all season to get to the playoffs, and it takes so much work to get to the Super Bowl every single year. And I saw a report that said some Chiefs were saying they have Super Bowl fatigue. Like what? That's an excuse. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
what?
weird.
Why do you play the game? You know
That's
what I
weird.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of person needs to get off the team. Like Kansas City needs to do a lot of that. A lot of like, okay,
Soul
we
food.
Restructure.
we
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. But they're not like in a bad. I'm not like shitting on Kansas City. Like they're still a good football team, but they have a lot of question marks as far as like aging veterans that are taking up a lot of salary on their team.
It's that
You
flame
know,
Yeah,
again.
I,
They
I
got to
think
reignite that flame.
that flame, like Tay was saying, because I didn't see it. Like even on the defense, like Reed, like priorly, like they don't have Blankenship. That's the Eagles, but there's somebody on that defense.
McDuffie.
No, Sorensen. Sorensen prior years like was making plays.
Yeah,
Like it to this year was kind of more of like a play for them, like a stage
Yeah.
act. Like it didn't feel like that fire, none of it. Like they didn't have that swagger. Trent McDuffie is about the only one on the defense that has that. And then Karloftis is making some waves, but Bolton took a step back. Chris Jones is
Chris
getting older.
Jones. Yeah.
Like, and maybe Bolton didn't take a step back, but again, I just didn't see no flashy. Like I remember just seeing these guys pop prior years,
yeah,
and it didn't happen this year. So
yeah. And you gotta keep It's just I just think they're gonna run
but
into a lot of reality is gonna set in, right? Like the Eagles just whooped their ass in the Super
so,
Yeah.
Bowl.
so hear
What
me
did
out
they
though.
do? What did they do?
Yeah,
Pacheco made it back onto the field, but probably not fully there.
No.
He probably shouldn't even have been out there because he wasn't actually like starting, wasn't getting like full PT. But hey, you get him going into the season healthy next year. You get Rashee Rice back. You have Worthy fully incorporated into the offense. Kelsey doesn't retire. You probably lose Trey Smith just because you don't want to have to pay him. But like they'll you know what I mean? Like they'll draft like with their 32nd pick, they'll pick their tight end of the future or something like that to replace Kelsey, and it'll be there's a few good ones too, and they'll get picked at the back of the first, late second, early second, and the Chiefs will grab one. And if you have Mahomes, if he is the truth, if he's him, he can make those guys a new Kelsey. You know what I mean? Especially with some of these kids that are coming out, Laporta and freaking Bowers and stuff. If one of these tight ends and
How dare you say Laporta over Trey McBride? What are we talking about?
So is
Trey
this
McBride
transition
is
in
Bowers
bold?
broke Laporta rookie records, okay? And
Bowers is the truth.
McBride had like one touchdown this year, so
Still had a better year than Laporta, buddy.
Laporta was hurt.
Sophomore slump. One was slumping. One was a rising, brother. And one played with Jared Goff and a high-powered Lions
Yeah,
offense.
and like Tucker Kraft is something like so. There's I'm telling you, like unfortunately they'll be fine if they're not losing out. Like if Chris Jones and Travis Kelce both retire in the same year, then you got to start talking like, okay, is the dynasty over? Because Patty's still got some time, but those guys are getting older. The other guys are getting older.
Give me one bold prediction for this offseason.
For any team, any team.
That's what bold prediction means.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure we weren't talking Casey.
All right, I'm gonna kind of circle back to KC, but one bold prediction, and I don't know how they do it with their cap space, so just throw that out the door if it's possible or not. But Tyreek's not happy in Miami. He wants to get out. Where can we see him? KC needs another playmaker. They got Xavier Worthy on the other side. What do you think about Tyreek back in KC? It's my one bold prediction.
So I thought about that, but then like the issue and something I've learned over time with trades, Tay, Miami ain't about to. I now granted Kansas City shipped him, but that's because it was a deal they probably could not refuse. I don't see Miami if they still plan on still trying to be, noteworthy and in conversation of playoffs and Super Bowl contention and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You may think getting rid of Hill, they're not, but if they're still trying to be, I don't think you ship them off in the same division, right? Tyreek Hill, I think a better suited team for Tyreek Hill would be the Washington Commanders all day long.
Okay.
But that's not my bold prediction. Yeah, just because again, if Miami ships him off to, because he's unhappy, get the money off, make a different play. I think you want to get him as far away as you can, and the only team that could hurt you is possibly in the Super Bowl, type thing. So, because Tyreek still has got some juice left. It's just a matter of, I think he got done with the whole Miami stuff, and then Tua could not hold the ball for more than 3 seconds anymore, so he couldn't really make his moves. So, but my bold prediction, I always like to keep it at home. I don't know why. I don't really want to see it, but my bold prediction is that DK Metcalf does get moved from the Seattle Seahawks.
Nice. Interesting.
Like I said, I don't want to see it. I don't know why. But if you get the right compensation, I think I do know the reason why. They're going to move into a different styled offense. They're going to run the crap out of the ball. I think they're going to try and sign a good offensive lineman, maybe draft an offensive lineman, and really just switch the whole scheme up. So I don't think you need all the playmakers. If you have a good run game, if you have some tight ends you like, you have Jackson Smith, maybe Lockett doesn't retire but restructures, you keep Lockett around, go grab yourself another, something, either in free agency and or the draft. They don't have a lot of money, but they'll open that up with getting rid of DK. So
nice.
Gives them flexibility for a potential future quarterback as well. So, and you need to do that.
Nice. I think Myles Garrett gets traded to New England.
Ooh. That'd be nice.
Yep. I mean, that's...
Why New England out of all the...
because Mike Vrabel hire, and he's a defensive guy, and it just makes sense. They got the issue is, do they want to part with their first round pick, number 4? It's like, mm. They have the cap space to pretty much go sign anybody this offseason. So that's why I'm looking for them to get in the T Higgins sweepstakes if he doesn't respond, or if he doesn't resign with the
Bengals.
Cincinnati, or Cooper Cup, even though it's not like the sexiest of signings, because, or the trade, it would be a trade, because Cooper Cup's more on like an aging receiver. I just think that you need to get Drake May like that alpha,
That blanket.
you know. And T Higgins, granted, he's number 2 in that offense, but he's definitely an alpha receiver if he can stay healthy. He's a freaking monster. But he also has Joe Burrow throwing in the ball. Drake May's giving signs of life. I think the Patriots are going to actually be a pretty fun team next year to watch. And that's
Yeah.
my bold prediction.
So
All
you know
right,
what's?
guys. What's up, Dre? And then we got to
I
move
was just
along
gonna
after
say
this.
two things. Something scary that I had seen recently. I don't know what type of players are actually leaving off the team in order for this to be true, but the Lions are like top 5 in most cap space. That's dangerous. Like, I feel like a team like that, where they're like, they've been 13-3, 14-2 the last 2 years, but just can't get over the hump. They need to make that crazy play for the Myles Garrett, you know. But if you're New England, it makes you instantly better. But what it like between him and Christian Gonzalez, that's the only 2 people I could even name.
Right. That's how you build. Like, I get what you're saying, like if you're the Giants, but let's be honest, the Giants aren't, I mean, the Lions aren't going to be as good as they were this year next year. They lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. So,
Oh yeah, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Yeah, true. Next topic.
yep. Mock draft season, boys. A little bit of homework for us 3. We are introducing our new mock draft 1.0, where we will only be doing the first 10 picks.
Yeah.
And we will be revealing these. What do you guys think? Couple of weeks? You want to do a couple of weeks? We'll do
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
2 weeks.
give me your prediction for the number 1 overall pick right now on the spot.
Ooh,
Tell you
number
first.
1. Let's see. I was not preparing for right now, but let me go see. Let me pull up the board real quick. So Titans have number 1, right?
Yep. They need a lot of help.
They need so much. I just like I know the NFL and the hype and where it's at right now. I think Shador is gonna go number 1. I think Shador to Tennessee. I don't know. You may call me crazy, but I think the NFL hype where it's at. I think they do that, and then possibly maybe try to bring in his daddy. So
Bringing
um,
his daddy.
bring in his daddy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Shador number 1, Tennessee Titans.
Like I said, they need a lot of help. Whether you're gonna possibly continue to go Will Levis, or if you plan on being bad again, or you possibly bring in a veteran QB, which we'll get into maybe later. I think I have a whole plan in place for them. But if you need so much help, I feel like you get a guy that can help you on both sides of the ball.
Ooh, you're going Travis.
Why wouldn't you go Travis at 1 right there? Now, something in me, like if it was still, who is coaching them, Joe? Do you know? Do they have a current coach? Did they grab one this offseason?
No. It starts with a C. It's like Calhoun.
Yeah, Callahan or Calhoun?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Callahan.
Brian
It is
Callahan.
Brian. Okay. So they stuck with him. Okay.
Yeah.
So they need to grab him as QB and give him his chance, though. So you're not wrong on that, Tay. It could be Cam or Shador.
And just I feel like Will's just cooked, bro. He's done. Like he is not the one, So I think they need a QB, and I do like Cam as well, Cam Ward. But just knowing how the NFL is with hype and stories, and Shador's gonna go number 1. What's your
Nope.
thoughts?
So
I think what's gonna happen is
Go ahead, Dave.
They're going to end up taking Travis Hunter, and then
Mhm.
they're going to end up getting back into the first round or early second round and get
Trade some picks.
Jackson Dart.
Dart. I want the Hawks to get Jackson
I
Dart
was gonna say the Hawks are eyeing
at
Jackson Dart.
18 right
To
there.
me,
Yeah.
he's the
Perfect.
most pro ready. To me,
Yeah.
he's the most pro ready.
Even if you have to move up to 12, and part of getting Dart is moving DK to get up to 11, 12 to grab him or something. I'd
I
grab
would
him.
love
Like
Dart in Seattle.
one of my things is, Shador with taking him number one, you're kind of like he can handle the pressure and everything, but you're sending him to essentially a team with the worst offensive line than the Buffaloes had last season. Not the season that just happened, last season where he was running around for his life. And they improved it this past season and he was still running around for his life and getting beat up. And this I just don't think I want Shador to have a really successful career and I don't want to see him go to Tennessee because we all know any quarterback that goes to Tennessee, chances of you succeeding, unless your name's
Slim.
Steve McNair,
Yeah.
slim to none.
That,
Marcus Mariota had a run,
so,
but only because he was able to literally run.
and here's the reason why I don't think they grab QB. They are one of outside of maybe the Oakland, and they're not even Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh my gosh, look at my
I
head.
always say that.
Outside of them, I know, and seeing Las Vegas has Bauer. They have a couple building blocks, Powers Johnson Center, a couple things, Crosby. They have one of the worst rosters in all of football. I was looking at the defense at the beginning of the season, and it had some bright spots, but they were all 33-year-old veterans that are no longer playing there by the end of the season. So either hurt or just not on the team. They need, like I said, a lot
Granted,
of help.
hold on. Granted,
Okay.
we will not. We benefit of the doubt. Christian Wilkins did miss all of last year. He was a big
For
offseason signing for them.
the Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
No, so they're actually decent, but I'm
they
saying
still are dog shit.
Tennessee. Okay, I'm going to speak on two things. Tennessee is so bad in all of the playmaking positions. You're doing yourself a disservice by grabbing a quarterback. You already tried that with Will. Will's not that untalented. There's some things about his game that make me go, oh, but then a Jameis
Right.
just So I maybe he's not the future. I get that. Roll with him, or my whole plan in place. I'm going to give it to you guys real quick. I truly think there's talk of it's at the bottom here. What's next for Aaron Rodgers? There's been rumors of Nashville. He likes it there. Yada yada yada. Let's get him there on just a 1 or 2 year deal. Hey, just let's see. Okay, if you're as bad as you were with the Jets, we're gonna have another good draft pick. If not, you can actually build up some of these young guys that we do have or bring in, and kind of at least give them some know-how. And who comes along with him most likely is Devontae Adams. You grab him and Devontae, and you grab Travis Hunter at 1. Hunter plays both sides of the ball, but you don't rely on him in offense. You put him as a corner on defense with gadget plays on offense because Adams is the 1, and whoever the hell else you bring in is a 2, 3, 4 option. Chicken Kongu. Maybe they grab a running back.
Nice. We have to move along, Dre, but that's a good starting block to a good 4-14 season. I love it.
Yes.
Because the Aaron Rodgers we saw what that looked
He's-
like the last couple of years.
He's also cooked.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on. You're better off rolling because and then we really got to move on. But let's if you think about this, Will Levis running for his life, Aaron Rodgers running for his life. Who has a higher success rate?
Will.
No,
Granted,
and then
Will might throw the ball to the defense on it when he's past the line of scrimmage, but
the only thing too I wanted to speak on was for Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. It'll be best if neither one of them goes number 1 overall. Truthfully, I don't know if you guys have seen some of their videos. These two are competitive as all get out against each other.
Yeah.
And I think if one goes at 1, like you said, you have that pressure. Whereas even if one goes higher than the other at 2 and then one goes at 6, it don't matter. I'm going to be better than you. But when one has that pressure at 1, like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Jaden doesn't have the pressure. Caleb does. And then Drake May doesn't have the pressure out here balling low key, So it's just one of those things. I think if neither one goes number 1 to Tennessee, that would be best.
you know me not being the biggest Caleb Williams fan. He kind of brings a lot of that on himself. But moving
Yeah.
right along, guys.
I can't wait though. I can't wait for our mock drafts. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
Woo!
we'll get
Juicy.
those. We're gonna get those going, and let's do we'll make it up kind of as we go. But I think reviewing one a week is gonna be good.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
each of us submit it. But moving right along, guys, we got NBA midseason report cards for the contenders. We don't do pretenders around here. We're gonna start in the East, guys. Start with
Let's do it.
Cleveland. You guys
I
been keeping an eye on the Cavaliers this season?
Dude.
yeah, I think. Go ahead, Dre. Sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say Cleveland looks awesome. I give them an A plus. I think they're having a fantastic season. The record right now is 44-10, so they're about 0.815%, which is way above 500. And just 10 losses a season, half the season is crazy. I think right now they're second in points per game at 122. So like that's crazy, averaging 122 points a game. That's nuts. And that is due to their 3-point. They shoot very well in the 3-point. They're actually number one as well in percentage wise behind the line. So I think they're having a great season. And on the other side of the ball, defensive wise, they have great defensive stoppers there. Play great defense. So A plus, like around, they just play a great game.
Tell you, if we were in like Sports Nation, you'd be getting all them points, just beep,
Uh,
beep, 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 whatever that show is called. No, touching on that, bro, they have a great combination of offense and defense between Garland and Mitchell at the guards, and then Mobley and Allen down low. And I absolutely love what they just went and did on the trade deadline for Hunter. Hunter
Yes.
was, if he stays healthy, I love Hunter's game. He's still young and he fits perfect. That's exactly what they needed, was a 3-and-D wing 3. He's big, perfect for him. He's already balling out for him.
Athletic.
It's perfect little move for them. And it's just nuts how they, like, even Donovan Mitchell's their like superstar and he's kind of second tier. So like they just have a solid group, really. Like, yeah, A plus.
Yeah, I give them an A plus. You guys did really good at breaking down the reason why they are number one in the East. Let's just see if they can do it in the playoffs come playoff
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Boston, that's the reason why they made that move for Hunter, because Jason Tatum was busting their ass last year. So
Oh,
let's go
okay.
ahead and
Young
keep an eye
Kawhi.
on that. That's pretty much what what we're all looking forward to, at least I feel like, because we'll get to it, but there's not too much to look forward to in the East outside of the top three teams. But speaking of Boston, let's go with Boston. How about you
Sure
guys?
thing.
I'll go first with them.
I'll go first.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll say B minus.
Mm.
I think they've kind of taken a step back since last year. Their 3-point percentages, even they shoot a fuck ton of them, bro. They shoot so many threes, so many threes. It's so frustrating to watch. Um, I think Drew Holiday's been banged up. They kind of been banged up. Kristaps Porzingis is who you kind of need to keep an eye on too. If he gets going, then maybe they can take back first place. They're 6 games behind. 6 games, or
Mm.
is it 8 games? They are sitting, 6 games behind. So I think really whoever out of Boston and Cleveland, whoever gets number one seed will probably end up going to the finals. I think Cleveland has a freaking monster home court advantage, but Boston is Boston. So, Joe Mazzulla, what about you guys? What do you guys give them grades?
So I gave him a B plus. I like, only reason even a B plus, I would give him a B minus like yourself, because touching on all your topics there. But B plus because they are second, they are holding it down. Like, so you're not failing in any aspect. You're not like bad, but they're definitely, like you said, they are not much like the Chiefs, much like the Warriors a couple years. Like they've been to the finals or Eastern Conference Finals the last like 3-4 years. Are they, and their team's kind of made up of mostly veterans. Even Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are becoming not aged, but veterans. Like, are you starting to run out of a little bit of energy and a little fire and all that? Like maybe that they've been making moves every year. You have Porzingis, you have Holiday to supplement your 2 stars, but I don't know, just something. Again, they don't have that spark. They don't have that swagger this year, so we'll see. But they're B plus. They're holding it down. Can't hear you, bro.
People will say Peyton Pritchard will deserve Sixth Man of the Year, but I don't know. That's just me being a hater again. What about you, Tay?
Yeah, I like originally put them as A while I was doing the research, and then as I was kind of digging into it, I put them down to a B plus just because like they're just dull. Like I don't know, that's the best way to explain it. It's kind of like you said, they're stagnant. They haven't really done much. They haven't done less. But I mean, they're number they're number 2, right? Number 2 in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
So you got to give them the respect. They're 39-16, so they're a 0.709 percentage, which again above 500. So any team that is doing that consistently, like you kind of got to give them the respect. I gave them a B plus though as well because I think their defense is lacking a little bit. Right now, I believe their blocks per game I was looking at is 5.7. So, not the worst, but they are down there a bit. And they're not even top 5 in steals. They're not even top 5 in other defensive accolades. So I put them as a B plus because I think they're struggling a lot on their defensive play. But again, the second in the East, weak conference, above 500, and they're the reigning champions. So that's why I give them a little bit higher than what I thought they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to wrap up Boston real quick. I do think though, they're gonna end up flipping the switch maybe after All Star
Yeah,
break. I believe in Missoula. He's a
great
really good
coach.
coach. Kind of weird, but he's all right. And yeah, I think once they just get healthy and kind of just get everybody back to playing normal minutes and stuff, I think that's when they'll really start to hit their winning streaks and stuff like
A-
that.
And they
But
could
moving
be
right
taking
along, we
that.
got the
Oh,
New
sorry.
York Knicks. Oh, I forgot to edit their name to
Before we
New
go to
York.
that, I
Let
was
me
gonna
fix
say they
this.
could be doing the endurance game as well too. Just trying to save their energy for the playoffs as well. So it's
True.
possible.
Yep.
Who wants to crack the Knicks first?
Go ahead.
Bing bong.
I'll go first with the Knicks. I actually give him. You're gonna be surprised, but I actually give him a B plus.
Not surprised at all.
I think, granted, they made the probably the most surprising moves in the offseason, getting Towns, Mikal Bridges. Um, I am worried though about their defense as well. It's not the normal Tibbs defense that we're seeing. But they're scoring a lot. But the issue that I see with them is that they want Carl Anthony Towns to play the five like all the time. It's kind of where he doesn't thrive playing the five all the time. I think if you look back when he was with Minnesota, the reason why they were able to get to the Western Conference Finals and stuff is because they had Gobert and Towns, where Towns was able to do kind of what Anthony Davis has been wanting to do and play the four when he's in today's NBA considered a five. Um, I think that can kind of will come back to bite the Knicks in the ass. Their lack of bench depth is really concerning as well. But just overall, I think as a team, they're a lot better than they were at this point last year. I think
Oh,
Jalen Brunson is
definitely.
also an all-star. He's a dog. He's he's just I don't know how he does it, but he's good. He's a smooth criminal, man. That guy's good.
Okay, so I'll say I'm not a fan of Jalen Brunson. I am a fan of
Wow.
Cat. And I'm a fan of the moves they made. Like you have you have OG and you have Bridges on the wing. That's huge. Josh Hart, the little bench depth piece, but they don't have a lot past that. That like you're saying, Joe. But yeah, their unit, their overall five is matching up just as crazy in my opinion as Cleveland's. Like they're nice, but I
You
I
mean on
don't.
paper?
Yeah, but like that's just like this is their first year, all of those guys together. I mean, it's going to take some time, but they're good. I gave them an A.
Nice.
I mean, you made all these moves. You're locked in at 3 behind a team that's going crazy, and then the team that's been there the last few years. There's not much more you can do. So good for them.
Yeah, I also gave them a B plus. I thought, they are, you know, I'm opposite than you, Dre Day. Like I'm a huge Jalen Brunson guy. Like that's like one of my favorite up and coming, guys right now. I just think he's able to have it his way anywhere that he wants. On the offensive side, and he just has that dog in his game as well too. So always hungry and eager to, get to the line, shoot that three. So I gave them a B plus. I think also too, looking at their stats right now, they're actually fourth right now in the whole league in points per game at 118. So that's just a testament to show that they're high velocity scorers, and that's what you need. But I gave them a B plus because, again, second what Joe said, I don't think they have that depth there, and that scares me in the playoffs. And then also to that, their defense as well too. So yes, they have Carl Anthony Towns, but are they able to sustain a hard defensive wall in the playoffs? So it will be interesting.
They also need to get healthy as well. When they
Yeah.
played the Lakers a couple weeks ago, OG went down with the looked like it was a calf injury, I believe. So
Oh.
he's probably gonna miss some time. Yeah,
It's a tough
just
injury too.
it's just one of those things, y- some of these teams are gonna look back at the end of the year and be like, "Damn, we should have made a trade at the trade deadline." Granted, they didn't really have much to work with as far as like assets, first round picks and stuff, but they do have assets on the team they could trade. Quentin Grimes. Oh no, they actually did trade Quentin Grimes, I believe.
Yeah.
So like they try to make I don't know they might have messed up by letting Hartenstein go in the offseason, you know.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
hate that.
It's one of those things, but moving right along, we got Indiana, the Pacers, man. They, I'll go first with the Pacers,
Yeah.
if you guys don't mind. They're sitting at 30 and 23. I'll give them, I'll give them just a B, just one of those B grades. I think they're just average. They're an average team. This is what I really don't like about the East. I think once you get out of the top three, it kind of just is like playing teams to me. I
Mm-hmm.
think after Cleveland, Boston, and New York, under everybody under New York, Boston, and Cleveland, they would all be playing teams in the West. So I give them a B. What about you guys?
I gave them an A minus. They're fourth. Joe. There you go. I saw something that surprised me. They have 4 players right now, maybe even more, but I saw 4 for sure that are averaging over 15 points. Tyrese Halliburton, nice, playmaking point guard. You have Benedict Matherin as a scoring 2. You got Turner and Siakam down low. Yeah, I like what they have. Toppin plays a decent role playing position at the 3. They're just average, like you say, but if they turn it on at the right time, they could be a really good team. They have a good unit.
I put them as a C. Like they're just boring, they're stale, like, and then diving into their stats too, like, they are good at passing the rock. They're number 5 in the league at 28, which is good, and they have really good field goal percentage as well too. So they're 4th in the league at 48%. So to me, that's Indy, right? They love to pass the ball and they love to shoot inside, within the field goal range. So that being said, I'll give them their flowers there, but other than that, I feel like they don't have that electricity to get them over that hump, that spark. And Tyrese Halliburton just so ugly to watch, bro.
Oh,
Like he's
he is.
nice, but it's just so ugly. So
No, he is.
just with their like boring style of play, and just how unorthodox that guy is, I'm just gonna give them a C.
See, I'm nice with the grades. Like again, they're holding it down. They're 4th in the East. That's not bad, but The record's not amazing, but they're just above average. If Tyrese was that, you know, bona fide superstar, 26-10, you know, but he's more like 18-8.3. So that would be the difference in them being like really, really good with the
Yeah.
unit that they have, or just where they're at right now, I think.
It's like you said, average, like that sea level, where like they're right there, but they're just quite not. So next one.
Yep. Moving right along, we got Milwaukee, the Bucks. It's another one of those teams that are just blah.
Yeah.
I also gave them a C.
I give them a C plus.
Yeah, I gave them
No,
a C. Oh, go
C
ahead.
minus.
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tay. You go
Um,
first.
yeah, I was gonna say I gave them a C just because like one thing is like you look at Giannis as that true all-star, right? Like Bron exits the league. Who's that next person, right? Like, and Giannis is always in that conversation. And I feel like to be in that conversation, you need to be in the top three every year in the standings, all throughout the year. And I'm so just disappointed in like Giannis and just where their team is at. They're just not performing, I feel like, at that caliber of a level. So that's why I put them as a C. And going into the stats as well too, like they're out of the top 5 in a lot of these stats, guys, which is like horrible. So I gave them a C.
So I actually had a funny one about this one. And I don't know if it's just me, but like we all know it's not, because we all kind of have the same opinion. Ugh. Bruh, they have no aura. Even Giannis,
None.
he has no aura. Like they are like okay, so 2 3 years ago when they had Drew and Middleton was on his game and Giannis was really doing it, they at least had an identity. Yeah, maybe it wasn't working because they weren't consistently winning chips or getting there and stuff with what you would consider the second best player or best player, whoever wanted to say it. Um, but yeah, I mean, they at least they had an identity then. Still no aura back then, but now they really don't. And they went and got Dame time. They've made a move during the deadline. Like they're trying, but just no. C plus, C minus, some. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they've just been making a lot of bad moves ever. Like I think dating back to last year, you bring Dame in. You at one point I believe they were like 36 and like 16 or something, well above 500. They fire Adrian Griffin, their head coach. They bring Doc in. Doc gets named the All-Star head coach for coaching for 10 games. They kind of fall apart. It's just been a lot of like bad moves, and it's all of it. It just leads back to Giannis. Just kind of trying to make sure that he doesn't leave next time he comes in. Milwaukee's faults is more on the business side of things. It's to kind of
100%.
keeping their superstar happy, having having his brother take up a roster spot. Granted, Bronny plays for the Lakers, but at least fucking Bronny's playing sometimes.
Yeah.
Dance this is tore his Achilles. Like, how you tear your Achilles when you get no PT? You know what I
Practice.
mean? Like, so I don't know. I just think Milwaukee's kind of headed for that purgatory that we try to avoid in the NBA. You don't want to be stuck with they're gonna end up looking a lot like the New Orleans Pelicans when demanded a trade. So
Yeah.
I think I think Giannis will end up demanding a trade because when Dame has what, maybe 1 2 years left, because he's aging, declining, and that's the problem with a lot of these superstars. They just get the older they get, the more money they make. So it's kind of ass backwards. You think that you should pay them more in their prime and then pay them less when they kind of get older. But as obviously as a player's side, you want to get paid more at the back end of your career than you do in the early part of your career.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's just where I'm at. I just think they've just been making a lot of bad moves, and I wouldn't even be. I don't think they finished top 5 in the East. Well, maybe I don't think there's anybody below them, but
Yeah. East
first
is
round exit,
horrible.
second round exit. Wouldn't be too
Yeah.
surprised.
And then just 5 seconds before we move out west, a team that's not on that contenders list, based off their bona fide superstar only playing 22 games so far this year.
Yeah, the Magic.
The Orlando Magic. They would have
Yeah.
made a move at the deadline. They'd be better than Indy, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You know, like, so just wanted to throw that out there.
No,
Agreed.
and you're right. You're right. Like
They're still
that's what
sitting at
sucks.
7.
But they're not. They're still a. They're a year away from being a year away. You know, they're one of
But
those teams.
I know, but Suggs, Wagner, and Bancaro
Right.
all healthy playing this year and just rolling, and then you add a little something in at the deadline, they'd easily be that 4th, 5th team all day long.
Right. You're right.
If not
Paolo
maybe
is
in the East.
nasty.
In the East.
yeah, in
In
the
the
East. The East
Right.
isn't crazy after the first 2 or 3, like you said. So yeah,
I give you Orlando having a better shot against the top 3 than Indiana and Milwaukee.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely can see that. But moving out west, boys, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Tay, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I talk about OKC all the time. I like them. I give them an A plus. Same exact record as
Cleveland.
Cleveland, right? Yeah.
Yep.
44-10, 8.15%.
I think they're split on the season as well.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And one thing that's different is we all know the West is very competitive, way different conference than the East. So for them to come in and do that at that level, I think is crazy. And I don't know if you guys seen the record, but they've only lost 3 games at home. 3 games half the whole season is nuts. And SGA with multiple 50-point games. He is also leading the league in second actually in steals, which shows he's playing on both sides of the court. And then just watching OKC's when they play is, you guys know me, I love basketball, and basketball is a team sport. So when I watch them play, they're playing as a team collectively. They're running plays. They're not just fully just let Shea ISO. Yes, he does ISO a lot of times, but they actually run plays and play team ball. So I give them an A plus. I would give them an A plus plus if I could.
Yeah, I'll second that A plus because I gave them an A plus. I I look at them, and outside of the fact that they were taken from us, or the Sonics were taken from us and became them, but we won't even go there. I look at them as like the New Age Warriors. They have drafted and developed that whole entire team. Yeah, they traded for Shai, but it was like in his first year, I want to say, or something like that. So, Jalen Williams, bona fide superstar. If he wasn't sitting right next to Shai,
yeah,
and maybe that's part of the reason why he gets it. Who knows? He could be a Chris Middleton. Who knows? But he's nice. He's really
Chet when he gets healthy.
And Chet isn't healthy, and Hartenstein got moved over there during the offseason, like Joe touched on, and is nice. I saw videos of him during the offseason, and I was wondering, I'm like, who is this guy? And then I was like, oh yeah, the New York Knicks. Okay. I was like, why is he playing like a guard? He's 7 foot, and he's out there averaging a double-double right now for them. That's great. That's awesome. A plus plus.
Yep. I give him an A. I think their depth is concerning as well. I think
Come
when it
on,
comes to
Skip.
the playoffs, their lack of I think their pieces that they brought in outside of Hartenstein haven't really been the greatest. Caruso hasn't really been Caruso in the past. And I think come playoff time, you're not going to get these scoring outings from Wiggins and all the others. You're going to need them, and I don't think that they're going to get them. They're going to run into
good players on a good team.
Denver can give them problems, and obviously we'll get to it, but there's a couple of other teams in here. Houston, we'll see. I think they're a good team though. Like they're just have they made that much of an improvement from last year?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, to only lose 3 games at home is crazy.
That's what you're supposed to do, though. You're supposed to do that at home.
Yeah, but at a very young team where, I mean, they really just popped in the league, I feel like, the last 2 years. So to really do this on their third, I feel like is a major improvement.
Yeah, playing together. So maybe this is the year, but or it could be another season of finishing the 1 seed and then looking back at the end of the year like, damn, should have made a trade at the trade deadline.
Yeah, it'll
There's
be
like
interesting.
they that's the team that should have made a trade for, like, say, hey, New Orleans, you won't play Zion in the back to back, but we will, and we'll give you 3 first-round picks and fucking Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and 4 first-round picks. Give us Zion. There's, like, there, that they because there's gonna come a time when they're not gonna be able to have all these picks on the same roster with the team that they have now. That's what they need to do. They need to trade all these picks to win with this team that they have now. Because
Yeah,
Presti's not, like that. That's
I don't disagree, but that there's also something to be said about like just teammate chemistry, bro. Like
yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
that they're doing it right with
100%.
the building aspect of it. Like you have a superstar or two, maybe three with Chet healthy. Like you
Hmm.
don't need that. You need role player. You need and like you said, you don't know about their depth. Their depth is they're like again because they don't have the Kyle Kuzmas and the random pieces like that as depth. Their depth. Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, like they're good little players in the league. They're nothing special, but you don't need them to be. You don't need them to be. You just need them to play a very specific role, and they do it well. That's
Yeah,
the
and
point.
I think it's just like you said, Joe. How do they transition how they're playing now into the playoffs? It'll be interesting, and I think
Yep.
that's that needle. But
Yeah.
if they do, I think they're gonna. I think they get to the chip. And that may
Yeah.
sound crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep in mind when it's playoff time, you have to win 4 games, right? And
Mhm.
they teams slow it down. So against these younger teams, when they like to just play fast and fast and fast, when you go against a team that actually knows how to slow it down and control the possessions, like what happened to them last year, it's but I'm with you guys. We can make a bet on this. We'll make a bet when it comes to the time.
Yeah,
Memphis,
yeah,
moving right along. Memphis, surprisingly, guys,
Yeah.
I'll give them a freaking A. Just just for being Memphis, and being there. Like, surprise. This is one of the more surprising teams to me.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
yeah. You guys go ahead and give your grades.
No,
Go ahead, Trey.
I was just gonna say I gave him an A too. Like obviously you have Jaw. They've been good the last few years, at least
Yeah.
third through sixth in the
Mm-hmm.
West, which is good. Yeah, the West is good. But there's just like Jackson's having a great year. You got Edie playing a decent role. Gigi Jackson plays a depth piece. Like Bane's still there. They have all of their pieces, but I don't know. Like outside of Jaw, they're so ugly to me. They're much like Milwaukee in that regard. Um, but I gave them an A because I looked at the standings and they're freaking second in the West. So good on them. That's all that needs to be said. But yeah,
Yeah. All on the same page. I put them as an A as well. 36 and 18, so they're 0.667 winning percentage right now. Again, any team really above 500, that's awesome to me. So, they're young, they're competitive and impressive. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, but they're actually leading in points per game right now at
Mm-hmm.
123. So,
good enough.
that's just showing like they're running and gunning, they're scoring, they're efficient, and not only that, but they're doing it on the opposite side as well. So they're second in rebounding, third in blocks. But I almost put A minus because it depends on Ja. Can he stay healthy? We all know end of season, halfway through the season, injuries can pop up, and if he goes down, they will not stay at that second in the West, the
Or
competitive
Jackson or
West.
Edie. They
100%.
both have their injury concerns as well. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. So A overall.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty impressive. They had a tough year last year just with injuries and everything. This year though, they've handled everything pretty well. And I know people have been banged up. Baines missed a couple of games, Jaws missed a couple of games, and they've just managed to kind of stay afloat, which is awesome. Good for them. Moving along to everybody's favorite team, Denver Nuggets.
Mile High City.
Yeah, these clowns. I hate Denver.
I'm gonna go. I put them as a B. Eh, I put them as a B plus, and I knocked them down to a B because I don't know if it's just me, but where is Jamal Murray?
Bro,
Like, where
yeah.
is the guy at,
He
bro? Like,
talk
I
about
have,
fall offs, man.
yeah,
But he did just have a 55-point game.
yeah,
So,
but
Comes
like,
up in
yeah, comes shows up and down, just inconsistent.
yeah.
With that being said, though, like, Jokic is second in the league in assist, and third in scoring. Um, but also one thing why I put them at a B is MPJ has a hammy issue. Russell Westbrook has a hammy issue. Aaron Gordon has a calf issue. And again,
mm.
where's Jamal at? So at the end of the day, like where they're at right now, I don't think that's accurate. They're gonna fall way below, I know, by the end of this season. So um almost a B minus now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I gave him a B. I mean, when you have Joker, you're good, right? Um, they still have their complement, Porter, Murray, like you've touched on, and Braun, low key, is averaging like over 10 points. I think it's actually closer to 15. So that's nice. You got Westbrook. You know, you've done a few things. Westbrook plays a little bit of a role, so you've made some moves to make sure it's not just the same 5, 6, 7 guys. But the best way I can put it, to me, they're the Western Conference Celtics. Like, they're supposed to be there. The fact that they're third or fourth on the list is kind of surprising, in all honesty. So yeah, it's kind of my thought.
Yep. I give him a B. I think their depth is concerning as well. I think they Jokic is Jokic in the playoffs. He's another one where he'll slow it down, slow the possessions down, score at his pace, play the game at his pace like that. So I think they'll probably finish 5, maybe
Yeah.
3 to 5. Yeah, I don't see them moving up. Like I believe what you said, Tay. If anything, they move down.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still, you can't like count them out because they're the
Jokic.
Nuggets and they got Jokic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this team though is very interesting. What do you guys think about the
Whoo.
Houston Rockets? What would you grade them? They are sitting at 34-21 at the All-Star break.
So I'm gonna say this. I gave him an A minus. Basically, the way I put it, I said if you loved what the Warriors did, right, with building their team, if you loved what OKC's doing, then you're really gonna love what Houston's putting together. Like, there's about 7 young first round picks over the last few years that are all nasty, and they actually play pretty well together. They've put together a decent unit. But 1 through 5, like, they have Fred Van Fleet, they have Thompson, they have Green, they have Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith.
Yep.
No, is that right? Yeah, Jabari Smith Jr. Sangoon, Whitmore. Like, there's countless talent out there.
Yeah, I agree. I put them A minus as well. I think you're looking at my cheat sheet over here, Dre, as well. But no, I mean, again, another team above 500. They're at 6.18 with a 34-21 record. Huge swing from last season. So like that's been huge. And then ultimately they're doing this in the Western Conference, which is crazy. Like with a young team. So very fun to watch. Another cool stat also is they're third in the league with fast break points, averaging 18. So they're just a run and gunning team, which is fun to watch. But like Joe said earlier, kind of with OKC is when they get to the playoffs and they're running and gunning like that, are they going to turn the ball over more? Is it going to affect them? So I don't think, of course, they won't do much in the postseason, but ultimately they're having a great season. So A minus.
Yeah, I give them a B plus. I think made made some improvements. I want to say this time last year they were actually in the same position, if not better, yeah, in the standings.
Oh,
Um, but they a year away maybe. Like I love what they're doing. They're really fun to watch. They're kind of, they talk their shit, stuff like that, you know. They're young.
Yep.
Dylan Brooks is just kind of a loser. Um yeah, he's a loser. Thompson, I love Thompson. Thompson's a monster. Jalen Green, brother, you got to figure some stuff out on the off the court issues, but you know, but aside from that, yeah, man, they're a fun team to watch. I just give them just a B plus, B plus. I
Nice.
Okay.
think like you know me, man, I'm a big. They're fun to watch regular season. Let's see how it holds off in the playoffs. So
Yes.
that's one thing that I've kind of kept the theme going on these grades is like, you know, they're doing good this year, but I just want to see the playoffs. But Sangoon does have the ability
I
to
like
slow it down and
Sangoon.
play it at their own pace. So
Yeah.
that's something to keep an eye on with him.
And they have great defense too. They play great D, surprisingly.
That is surprising as all hell, but
Hmm.
Thompson probably gets that all started, honestly.
Yes. Yes.
You go first here, Joe.
All
Or do
right,
you want
moving
last? Or do
right
you want last?
along. We got the Lakers. All right, I'll go first with them. I'll give them a B plus. I think they're about like 8 or 9 games better than they were last year. They've made a lot of moves, notably the Luka Doncic trade. I think through 2 games of that, it's just been 2 games. He's still coming back from injury. He's looked really nice. Him and LeBron are going to be amazing in the playoffs. Like no question about it. Their lack of depth at center is concerning. Really, really concerning. Um, like really concerning. But their small ball lineup is actually really good at top 5 in the defense. Last time I checked, that one lineup of Finney Smith, LeBron, Luca, and what was the other dude's name? Rui.
Reeves?
Nah, Reeves, Reeves, Luca, and LeBron. That's defensive liabilities, unfortunately. But yeah, B
Yeah.
plus. I just think they'll finish. I think they're gonna end up finishing probably third. They're gonna probably overtake Denver and Houston. I think when once Luca gets back to actually playing full minutes and in shape, you got to remember they before their last loss to Utah, which was before the All Star, whatever. They won like 9 of the last 10, 10 out of 11, you know, and this was without AD because he got traded and was hurt. So they're building on a lot of good stuff. JJ runs some good plays. And yeah, I'm just pretty. It's a harder grade because they're so raw right now, you know, like they
Fresh
got
team.
yes. So do I think they're going to be a problem if they make it to the playoffs? Yes, I fucking do. I think that they're going to be a big fucking problem in the playoffs. If Luca kind of just keeps with the chip on his shoulder, gets into shape, yeah, watch out. He did it last year with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
even before that.
and LeBron is playing at a ridiculous level at 40. Like I saw a stat that was saying that he's a top 5 or top 6 or 7 in MVP voting. I was like, cool, that's dope. Obviously he's not going to get MVP this year, but to even be considered at 40 is like unheard of, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and he's balling. Like his stats are ridiculous during this winning streak and stuff. And he's playing when he needs to play defense, he'll play defense. Austin Reeves is a borderline all-star. It's pretty amazing. So if Jalen Williams is so, anyways, what do you guys say?
Um, Sorry, Lakers fans go first, Dre. I'm gonna take this one. So I'm also a Lakers fan, as you guys know, and a huge LeBron fan. Um, I put them as a B plus as well, though, Joe. They're above 500. Again, you guys notice my trend around plus 500 teams. So 32 and 20. Um, and I don't know if you guys seen this record, but they shoot 72.9% from the restricted field goal area, which is crazy. So that's just showing that they're getting a lot of the points inside. They're pulling up, hitting from the elbows. So I really think that, their shot efficiency and selection is very good, which it's all about the shots that you take. So that translation translates well into the playoffs, which you need. The reason why I didn't give them an A or A or A plus is because again the uncertainty, new team,
Mm-hmm.
fresh team, not quite sure what they're gonna do, and like you said, Joe, I'm very worried on their defense, brother. Like I am
Dude,
scared. you
hey,
know,
it would
like
it would all have been so good if that trade would have went through. Mark Williams
yeah.
would have been like, okay, sweet, but bro, Alex Len got off the plane after being signed and got dunked on by Laurie Markkinen.
So
Like, brother,
that was my next
wave
slide.
him.
That was my next slide is Alex Lynn is not it. You
No,
know?
dude. He needs to go right back to the freaking waiver wire, man. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. It was, yeah, I'm with you on that, brother. But yeah. Whew.
Yeah, so that wraps up my thoughts. So that's why I put them at B plus.
Well, I gave him an
Watch your
A.
mouth, Dre. Oh, sorry.
I
Oh,
gave him an. Well,
yeah.
it's coming with some backlash though, because I'm tired. I'm tired of the excuses though. Okay, because I'm gonna say it straight. You have Luca and LeBron on the same team. No defense. I don't give a shit. New surrounding. I don't give a shit. You got Luca and LeBron on the same team. Yes, they are dangerous. That's why they get an A. It's ridiculous. That stat you told me, granted, that's mainly probably with AD there for most of the year that
Sure.
about them the field goal percentage inside, but outside of AD, you don't have other big men per se. Like Vanderbilt's nice and stuff, but you don't have big men. So that's actually a crazy good stat to know. And then
Yeah.
with Luca now, you get to kind of stretch that 3-point aspect a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
So when you get into those games in the playoffs.
No, yeah, their ability to slow it down. And I wasn't thinking about this, but if they get matched up against OKC, I think you'll see. Like, my big thing is game 1's game 1. If you're a road team, the Lakers, if they go on the road against any of the top three, we'll do OKC and Memphis because I do think that they can beat Denver this year. Crazy thought. I thought they were going to be able to beat Denver with AD. And real quick, shout out to Anthony Davis. Dude's a monster. I hate to see him get hurt. I was fucking fighting for his fighting for that dude's like respect amongst my friends the last 4 years, saying, "Oh no, dude, AD's a beast. Oh yeah, he gets hurt all the time. He's still a beast, dude. Leave him alone." Like
Yeah, when he's
it
healthy,
got
yeah.
tough. It got
Yeah.
tough, But now we got Luca, so we up. And yeah, I just
We
we're
are.
all in agreement here, right? Like they're going to be a problem in the playoffs.
100%. Yeah.
Um, the death lineup that I was thinking of was Vando, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reeves, Luca, and LeBron. And
And
yeah, you would play.
even the new
That's what
white
they're gonna
boy,
do against
the new
Denver.
white Dalton.
Connect,
Don't
yeah.
forget about
T-Mac.
him.
So what's dirty though is that yeah, and then Rui off the bench, like they'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they got that
That's
depth.
that can tie it right into the rest of the season predictions. That was my prediction. I think the Lakers will make it to the Western Conference Finals, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the
Ooh.
NBA Finals.
Ooh,
I think
nice.
Okay.
JJ, you have to like it's they okay, they made it to the finals with or the Western Conference Finals with Darvin Ham as a coach that didn't do anything except called like every now and then a high pick and roll, but everything else was just LeBron creating offense and lobbing it into AD to create offense. JJ runs a lot of plays. I see
Yeah.
LeBron set a high pick and roll, then roll to the corner. Somebody said send a screen, he cuts under the basket. It's just like wow, 5 out, 4 out. It's really good, really
Yep.
good stuff, really fun stuff. Refreshing. So that's my
Yes.
prediction. That's why I think that. And you're right, Tay. I think Dalton Connect. It's a blessing in disguise. Like yes,
Yeah.
they suck at now. They suck at rebounding. They're smaller, but they have their picks back.
Yeah.
And maybe Jackson Hayes can just be serviceable.
Yeah.
Alex Len obviously can't fucking do shit except get dunked on. Like he can't do shit.
Get him out.
Dude, it needs to get waived, man. So that's my prediction. I think. And awards, I'm going MVP. Oh, MVP. I'll go Shy. And then
Rookie
Rookie
of
of
the
the
year.
Year,
Mhm.
I'll go Ricochet.
Okay.
because he's really starting to come into his own now. He's actually like looking like a solid like wing player. He's like able to score. I think he's averaging like 18 points or something.
Yes.
So
Crazy.
he's doing pretty good, and at when the season first started, it was like, oh, McCain, Jared McCain's going to be rookie of the year, and Don't Connect went off for like 37 points. But no, I think consistently he's Risa Shea has shown throughout the year consistent growth and like what you want out of a first round pick, who I honestly didn't fucking know before the draft
No,
last year.
me neither.
So yeah. So
Risaje.
yeah, Risa. So those are my ROS predictions and awards. What about you guys?
Trade.
Yeah, I'll go rookie of the year. I'm gonna go with Donovan Klingon. Klingon.
That's a good dark horse, dude. He's really
Yep.
been doing good since he's been able to start.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton went down with pretty significant injury. I think he's gonna get PT for the rest of the year, and his PT that he's been putting up some crazy good numbers. Double machine with a couple blocks. Like it's a good little building block over there. And then MVP. I don't know how you don't go SGA. Is there even somebody that's remotely in?
They talk Jokic and but
Then I'd like to see SGA. I
yeah,
don't want to see the Joker. So yeah,
yeah.
SGA.
Nice. I love it. I think prediction wise, I agree with you, Joe. I think it's gonna be in the Western Conference Finals. I think it's gonna be the Lakers, and I think it's gonna be the Thunder. Now, who goes to the finals? I'll wait. I'll wait till a few more podcasts later, but go with
Yeah.
that. In the East, I'm gonna go with. I think it's Cleveland's year. Like they're just playing nuts. So I'm gonna throw Cleveland in there and Boston, of course. So the one and the two. In terms of
Really,
rookie,
really quick, Tay.
yeah,
That just thinking about that Cleveland Boston series, like think
yeah,
about the star power in it. You got point guard Drew Holiday,
yeah.
Darius Garland,
Uh-huh.
Mitchell, Jalen Brown, uh, Tatum, now
Hunter.
Hunter,
Hmm.
Mobley, Porzingis, or no, Mobley White, because they like to go small with Derek White, and
Hmm.
then you got Allen Porzingis. Like so, you know,
I
yeah, that's
I
amazing. I don't know. It's a
Uh-huh.
coin flip.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great series. Like I can't wait for the NBA playoffs. Sorry, go ahead, Trader.
I just didn't do the prediction, so I'll say
Cut Tay off.
Go ahead though.
Let him finish his awards real
oh
quick.
my bad.
Okay.
You guys say the same
Um,
thing.
and if I go to Rookie of the Year, this might be biased because I just loved. You guys know me. I love March Madness. I love college basketball too. And I loved watching them play. But and
Castle.
watching them last night,
Stephon Castle.
Stephon Castle,
Oh my
baby.
gosh, I am
Yeah,
a
I'm the
big
go.
Stephon Castle fan too,
Me
man.
too. Me too.
Oh,
So
he's the truth. He's the
yeah,
truth. Just needs to develop a jump shot.
100%. But it's weird because in college, like, bro, he would shoot threes all over.
Yeah,
Like it was
it's
crazy.
streaky. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's like every NBA player. I feel like though you got
Yeah.
like, granted they work really hard. They're not streaky. That's very like rude of me to say, but like
Hot cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm with you, man. I'm a big Stephon Castle fan. Like I love him.
Yes.
I think the Spurs are they're they're another team
They're
that's a
building
year away
something
from
out
being a year
west,
away, which
bruh.
sucks. Like Fox was good. He's probably I have to check his age, but
Yes.
he's probably about our age, maybe like 30ish, maybe 29,
Yes.
30ish.
Yes. But
So
he still plays crazy. Like
yeah, and
they're
he's quick.
brewing something over there. Like,
And they were able to keep Vassell. So that's the dark horse. Keep an eye on them to make it
Dude, they
into the play in. And if they can
yes.
get into the playoffs, I can see them giving OKC some fits in the first round.
Yeah. They're
they
Because
have
nice.
Castle can body, and I mean absolutely not body, like just size comparison wise, like that's the ideal SGA stopper in the playoffs. And then for the
He's
Lakers, it's gonna
nice.
be Vando. That just you need a big wing that can navigate screens and just has long reach
Mhm.
and just can play really good defense. And
And we
I
seen
think
how
that
that man could jump too. I know
yeah,
you
like
guys seen
yeah,
it last night.
so
yep.
they didn't get rid of Vassell,
Vassell,
Keldon
nope.
Johnson,
Sochan,
Shohan.
No. Uh-uh.
Like, and then you added Fox. You have Chris Paul, and of course you have Victor. Yeah,
Wemby,
mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Whew,
Mm-hmm.
they have a
They're
crazy
they're an
squad.
off season away. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then MVP. So yeah, Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year, love him. And then MVP, I mean SGA. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we all can agree with that. I Jokic is up there too, but it's just like you said, Dre. Yuck! I'm tired of seeing him win. So let's give it to someone young.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my predictions and awards.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say my predictions. I didn't say them. I would go Cleveland, New York, out east. I think we talked on Boston kind of just being dull. They have all the talent in the world, but I think maybe they just don't get there this year. Cleveland's year, and then New York's got the hype.
I like that. I
Um,
love New York.
yeah, and then in the West, I'll give you LA, even though the center aspect scares me. But it like Dorian Finney's like what 6'7", 6'8".
6'8". Yep. He
Yeah,
played. Looked. He
Vando's
played.
small
6'10".
center.
Like
Yeah.
they have like, and Vando's a defensive like
Menace.
menace. So like
Yeah.
they
All
have
he
the,
does, bro. And then
and then if
offensive rebounds.
I'm
Sorry,
big
I'm
on this, you can ask
Lakers.
Joe on 2K how I build my team. Like
Yeah.
whether they're good at defense right now or not, in his 43rd-year-old season, or Luca's, getting fat and
Right.
lazy season. They're both 6'8", 240 a piece. Like
That
that's
is
Right.
like
true.
those are bodies on the floor. You're good.
Yeah. That's some
They're
weight.
good.
Right.
But yeah, I'll go LA, and then surprisingly, OKC's ridiculous, but they're young, and I don't think they get
Oh.
there.
Who do you got
So
then?
it would, and they're hideous as well. But I think LA
Andre,
versus
if you're
Denver.
listening to this, please don't be upset with us.
LA versus Denver.
I'm with you,
And
Andre.
what we're not
Um.
looking at maybe there is like how the seeding goes, and maybe that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
possible. But I
Yeah.
just, yeah, LA versus Denver.
So
You like Denver. You like
if
Denver,
if
huh?
the seeding doesn't work out, then that's what you would say. Like if the seeding works out, you would want L.A. and Denver. So we would have to figure out the
They would
play in,
have to
obviously.
drop. They would have to drop. Denver would have to drop.
Yeah, which isn't like I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Denver makes it past the second round. Like they have, I don't know
Ah.
if you guys remember this, but they have this dude on their team, Russell Westbrook, who's been playing great,
Oh,
but
we
he's
know,
still Russell
Joe.
Westbrook,
We
bro.
know. We
Yeah,
know.
you
We,
oh
we
brother,
know Kevin.
Don't let that man shoot the last shot.
oh my
Oh no.
gosh. But he now he wants to play the six man role. You know? It's like 4 years too late, brother. But all right, y'all. Let's wrap up with the All-Star Weekend recap. As y'all know, the All-Star Game has not started yet. It's gonna start in probably about 2 hours from us right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
about three
yeah.
o'clock Pacific Standard Time right now. They're actually rolling out a new format. I didn't get a chance to actually read up on it. I saw that there's I think 4 teams, so they're doing one team plays another team, and then another team play. It's like Team OGs versus Team
Yep.
Young Guns, right, or
Mhm.
something like that. And then the winner of those games play each other as like the All Star champions. Now, what
Exactly.
I'm confused about is it only 5-on-5?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is just 5-on-5. Yeah,
So I'm not gonna lie, like
because each
that's gonna
person,
be
it's Chuck.
kinda
Yeah, it's Chuck, Shaq,
not
and they
it.
all chose their team, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yo,
you
my
have
bad.
like
It just started storming outside. Scared
you
me.
have an international team which is mostly made up of players from around the world that are like
Yep.
nice in, locked in superstars already. You have like a young gun team that's like people that are probably going to be superstars, but they're in their first or second year right now, kind of like rising stars with that. So I don't think they,
OGs.
they they did away with the rising stars then too, right? So there's no game
No.
for that, and no. So yeah, they just incorporated
No,
all
they
those
have it.
players into
That
one
that
big
was on
game, right?
Rising Stars was on Saturday. Yesterday, no, Friday. One of them.
Friday. It
Because
was
Dalton Connect
Friday.
Oh,
played in it.
Dalton
Yeah, yeah.
Connect. Yeah.
What they to me now, hear me out, guys. I don't know if you guys are the biggest hockey fans or if you guys had a chance to see what they did. So they switched up their All-Star game to the Four Nations Cup, I believe, right?
Oh, that's
So
cool.
you guys, after this little homework, okay? I'll and anybody watching this, if you haven't seen it already, USA played Canada last night.
Oh, I seen that.
They
Yeah.
booed in Canada, and they booed the national anthem for the Americans. And there was 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
In the game or in the stands?
In the game.
I
In the
did
game.
see that. Yeah.
They dropped the puck. One of the
Your
Chuck
gloves.
brothers threw him down, and they went at it. And then the other Chuck brother threw it down. I'm botching his name, by the way. He threw him down, and then they fought. And then, like 3 seconds later, after that little kerfuffle happened, they start playing. A dude shoots the puck at the goal. Goalie stops it, and there's a little skerfuffle, and they start scrapping. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's how you do it, though. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of this new All-Star format, and I've haven't really been interested in the All-Star weekend since Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, LeBron, D Wade. Like, do
And
you
I
guys
think,
remember when uh athlete or NBA players would come out with All-Star game shoes? Like
oh
the
yeah, like
Kobe's, the LeBron 9
Shaq
Big
would come out with
Bangs.
his cool
Yes.
cameras and
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
like the All-Star jerseys were actually cool. Like it was a good I'm not hating on the new format ones, but like I don't know. I just feel like Adam Silver's trying to
He's trying to spice it up.
I think we've talked about this. I feel like he's trying to make it seem it's a lot like it's like he's trying to draw the international crowd because I think he sees that there's a
Yeah.
lot more international stars than there are US or like
Starting, yeah.
American homegrown.
Mhm.
So that's why we got to get Ace Bailey and Cooper Flag up in there. So Ace
Mhm.
Bailey, my boy.
I like
So
Coop's filthy. I was
my
watching
thing,
Duke play yesterday.
Hoop's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my thing with the All-Star game, the only thing you got to do, and I don't know how you do it, offer these guys millions. There's money to be had. I know there is.
Man,
You have to get the superstars in these little events. Like you have
Mhm.
to get them to play the actual All-Star game with meaning. Like
yeah. No
it's one game,
disrespect.
one weekend. Like you're not wasting energy by playing hard. Almost nobody gets hurt in basketball. It's hard to get hurt in basketball.
And no disrespect. I'm not trying to see Cam Johnson in the 3-point contest. Like
No.
I know
No.
that he's a hitter, but like, bro, like, or maybe he just had stage fright, but not your best outing, bro. You missed like, well, I think it was like 6 of the first 10 balls or something. He finished with 14, and it's just like it's just not my thing. And no hate to McClung either. Like it's cool, but like, come on, bro. If you can go hire one of these motherfuckers off YouTube, a professional dunker. If you're gonna like the dude's not even in the
Yeah.
NBA, he's in the
Like
G
how?
League.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
not have a Jaw and Zion dunk contest yet?
That's what I'm saying. And
Did you
How?
see Jaws
Clay?
tweet though? Did you see Jaws
yeah,
tweet?
yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
bro.
But and I think I was talking to Dre about this pre-pod, and I was like, "Yo, like even like that's like Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine." I was like, "That's past time. Like
It's too
that's
old. Their knees
over
are
with."
done.
Like,
Their knees are
right?
done.
Aaron Gordon's
Yeah.
trying to make it to the fucking playoffs. You
Hey,
know,
Yeah.
Jaw's trying to win. That's why he invited them,
Yeah.
not Zion and other people.
So who would you guys want to see? Name
who would I
3.
want to see?
Name 3.
Zion, boom boom,
Name
Anthony
3.
Edwards.
and
Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
I like that.
No, there's a couple more in there. Who else is a high flyer? Derek Jones Jr. Like, why
For
hasn't he
sure.
fucking been in there?
But
He's been there. He's been
that's
there,
on
but he
par with
hasn't
your
been
shit
back.
though. He is a fucking 7 point per game role
But he's
playing
in the
player in the
league.
NBA. Okay, I want to see superstars that
Okay, so
absolutely
what was your
Jalen Brown.
were you a hater of the Gerald Greens winning the dunk contest?
No, but when they brought substance like a Nate Robinson,
Right.
no.
Okay, so
But he also
Gerald
had
Green averaged 7 points a game. He's like
Nate.
just along the lines of Derek Jones Jr. and they're the same type of dunkers, right? You're trying
Were you-
to
Dwight Howard was a superstar. Zach LaVine was a rising star all the years he's been in it.
right, but who
Those are
they went against Nate Robinson, Dwight Howard, who's Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon. Who else was in the Aaron Gordon dunk contest? Who else wasn't that a
Mac was in there
banger?
too. Mac that one year, Mac McClung.
No, he wasn't. Was he really?
Yeah,
No,
and Aaron Gordon was mad that he lost. That was the last year he did it. But the ones before that, I can't remember who was in with him.
like Amen Thompson, bro.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get him in there. Anthony. Okay, let's do it real quick. Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant,
Yes.
Giannis, too old.
No.
I don't think he brings
No.
any flair.
No.
I'd even go say I'd even want to see fucking Victor in there. If motherfucking could do a
Okay.
360 from the free throw line, why not?
Oh
Yeah.
my
But if
god.
he's not, because he at least seems competitive. He's the only motherfucker that's competitive at the All Star game. It seems like, except for that bullshit he threw at the skills competition. You seen that? You guys seen that?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So
So
I don't know. Like
let me get a tidbit when you're done. When you're done, go ahead.
Obi Toppin, we've seen him in it.
I will say this, and this is why they're not getting a Ja or whoever in the past is. I'll take Mac. I'll put him back in it. That guy is so creative. And like if you go to our childhood when we'd watch the dunk contest, right? Dwight Howard blowing a cupcake out, right? Candle out. I think that was him, or
That's
Blake
Gerald
Griffin
Green.
jumping over the Kia. Like
Right, right,
that
right.
these players in the league right now, I don't know if it's the younger generation or what
Jalen
it
Green.
is, but even
They
Jalen
lack
Green, but
creativity.
they don't have that creativity, just like you're saying, Joe. But Mac has that, and I mean, honestly, if we get a Jaw in and he's not as creative as Mac, I don't care if he's doing a windmill or whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to watch someone jump over a Kia. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to give ratings. So I could see why they're doing it. And Mac with the 3P, I was shouting him out, man. Like, in the league or not in the G League, like he did his Thug Dizzle last night. That was
Right.
dope. You
But
know?
maybe it goes back to like what Dre was saying, like paying these guys, because maybe the reason
Yeah.
why Max going crazy is because like,
Yeah.
like I'm the three, like I don't know, I just don't see how, or like it, to me it wasn't, there was some dunks in there that I was just like, bro, you just did, all you did was like a 360 windmill. Like I granted it's a
Yeah.
360 fucking windmill,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And
Who
that
was
was
that?
in
That
like
was
round two.
Stephon Castle, or who did
Yeah,
that?
that
That one
was
was
Castle
dope.
on this
That
first
one was
one.
dope though.
But
Yeah.
there's a, like, the creativity's
Like
lack of creativity, right? Like, and they have
Creativity.
like dunking coaches, but like I don't know, man.
just
Yeah.
touching on like something my uncle would say, like just back in the late '90s, early 2000s, even before then, whether they ended up being Michael Jordan or not, they were the Spud Webbs of the league and the this and that of the league. The you know Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant, all of them performed in the dunk
They
contest
performed.
at
Yeah.
least once. And so it's like, where's Jalen Green at? He freaking yams it. Where's one of the Thompsons, if not both?
Yeah.
Why are we getting Derrick Jones Jr. and Mac McClung?
It's the creativity. It's the creativity.
Like Joe said, go get me the dude though that it literally gets 55 million video views on YouTube.
Yeah, like
That
he,
actually like does 360 between the legs, backflips, and then dunks it.
right.
If
You
that's what you
remember
want.
that I think that year that Victor Oladipo put on like the Wakanda mask and all that, the Black Panther mask. That was the
Yeah. See,
Aaron
that's
Gordon,
dope. That's
like
dope.
stuff like that. Like I
And
don't
Victor
think
was
I
supposed to
saw
be
any.
something in the league.
I don't think I saw any of those dudes try to attempt to jump over somebody.
No.
Like aside from Mac, like that's what we grew up on. That's what I think
That's what
we
we
might
grew
be
up
aged
on.
out. Like
Yeah.
they must have to go back and rewatch some of this shit, bro, because I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell I was watching. Like motherfucking Nate Robinson jumped over three people. I'm pretty sure at
Yeah.
one point
Yeah.
or something, right?
And Shaq, I think he
So
jumped
it's
over
like,
Shaq.
what? But
I agree.
hold on. I gotta fix my. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for joining us for our first episode. We appreciate it and would love some feedback. So leave some comments, start the conversation, man. Leave some topics for us to discuss next week. And yeah, anything you guys like to say before we go?
Just thank y'all for the audience. Like, subscribe. Also, you'll see our link tree as well. Follow us on our other account. Just show us some love. And yeah, like Joe said, if you guys have anything you want us to touch upon, just let us know.
Yep. Check us out, guys. Blank Space. Try and do it once a week. Check us out on our other feeds for Breaks at the House, House of Sports. Keep in touch.
All right, you guys. Peace.